get a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved, second properly. Been moved and second, and can everyone in favor let it be known by saying aye?
Aye.
Likewise, the motion has been passed. The minutes are approved. So now we down to okay. Any public comments? One person.
My wife's out of town, and I decided I missed y'all, so I want
Yeah.
to see how a citizen feels.
Yeah. And we here, this is a special meeting here, is that right, Director?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we're here to discuss the vote and one-stop early voting plan. Mr. Director, will you kind of lay out the procedure on both of them on the location and the schedule?
Yeah, so what you've got before you on this calendar here is, if you look at the calendar part of it, it has the days laid out and it has the hours laid out. So if you'll look, we do both Saturdays and this one Sunday. And the Saturdays are 8 to 3 and the Sundays 1 to 4, which means the Monday through Fridays, which is what we've done in the past, and what I went off of going with this one is we start at 8 a.m. and we end at 7:30 p.m., which is in line with what we did in the 2022 general election. So those are the hours that we're looking at recommended. The only thing that we really have to deal with tonight is location for the primary election. And like I said, we have to have a plan in Friday with the state, so we called this meeting tonight to go ahead and take care of getting that voted on and approved.
So what you're looking at here is in the month of February.
Yes. With that, election day is March 5th.
I know we kind of glossed over it, but how did everything run at the new location for the farmers market?
Everything went pretty smooth. We didn't have any issues, to my knowledge, that didn't have any incident reports or anything to turn over. I do have some numbers for you. The total that we have for just the municipal election, now again, you have to remember this is just Snow Hill that was coming in to vote. The total was 185 folks that came in and voted at the farmers market. And I've got that broken down. You had 20 Republicans, 112 Democrats, and 53 unaffiliated voters that came in. That was part of that 185. And like I said, we didn't have anything that come to my desk that was an issue at the farmers market.
Well, if that worked there, I would propose that we keep the site where we've had it for the sake of consistency, the hours for the sake of consistency. I think the hours have worked well for us. So, unless there's any other discussion, I would motion that we.
Well, there are some discussion. I read that today. Earlier today, I talked with the director about the fire department, and he was telling me that he had written a letter requesting to use it, but hadn't got back in touch with him. And before we do move forward with that, I would like to know, have they contacted you about early vote?
Yes. After I got off the phone with you, I told you I would reach out to them to make sure they got the letter. So I did get in touch with one of the members. They did receive the letter. He actually has had a response sent back to me via email, but it wasn't sent until after 5 o'clock. And I don't have my computer with me to pull up the letter. But he did let me know that I think, from what I remember, their board does not meet again until January. So they're going to bring it back up to their board. I'm not sure what they're technically called, but they're going to bring it back up to their board in January to see if in the future we can use the location. But obviously that doesn't help us with the primary. And I do know they're actually, from what I understand, they're actually going to possibly do some renovations in that meeting room. They did have some spot that had some water damage from a storm, I believe. They just don't know when they're going to get to that, making some updates there. Like I said, they sent the letter back to me via email. It just didn't get to me till after 5 o'clock, and I was over here at 5.
What did the traffic? Well, we talked about the traffic. The traffic. You gave me the traffic. The outcome of the of this election. What about the last general election? Do you have anything on the primary on that?
Yeah, for 2020 specifically, the turnout for 2020, the primary. Now, this is not just early voting. This is the turnout total for primary election. Was 3,816.
Well, do you have anything on early voting?
Not specific on early voting.
Okay, because I wanted to compare that 185 voted, the 185 people to that, and I really did. I was looking to get some type of answer back from it. I remember you said that you wrote them, and you was to the meeting, and Mr. Baker here to the meeting, and at state. You get a sense of every time we ask for a location, it's kind of like, we at the mercy of somebody letting us use something, but and we come in and we ask, and but that's not the way the general statute is written. We see a need of it. We are to tell people that. I can understand what Dr. Greene is saying about what it is, but we still have not. There were some times that we talked about that when y'all got ready to leave at 5 o'clock, it just so happened with 185 people there out to vote, you didn't have no problem. That's why I'm thinking that we really do need to know the numbers on, compare that 185 voted to what it was in 220.
We'd have to compare it to last municipal election. Right. And even then, that's hard to do because there were 3 jurisdictions voting then early, whereas now it's just 1.
To my knowledge.
Well, okay, but that ain't what I'm asking. Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying though. I'm saying you looking at 185 and you making a conclusion based on that 185.
Right.
So therefore, you need to go back and look at what are we expected to have in the 220 in the general election.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
And so, it might be.
So
So it wasn't a problem. You're saying there might have been a problem with 185, but what if it's 10 times that?
Right.
And there were
I follow you.
There were some problems there. It just didn't amount to too much, but there were a problem there. Particularly when the school bus is coming out. I saw that the other day. When the school bus coming out, early in the morning, they seem like they kind of stopped everything because the last bus, when that light changed, is sticking out. And it is a traffic problem. And then when the traffic all the way back past the Board of Election. So really it is to compare that 185 vote on that, it's not enough. Because we do see that there is a traffic problem out there. But have it messed with us because we have such a small number during the municipality. So,
can we get that 2020 early vote number?
Well, we do have to have a vote and a plan in by December 1st, which is Friday. So I wish you had known that information earlier today. I could have got that information available for you. So I apologize for that.
We still got to May the 1st now. We still got, March.
December.
No,
Yeah, till Friday.
Yeah, December the 1st. Excuse me. We still got that to that time if we had to have a call meeting by phone or whatever. But I think until we make that effort.
Can I?
Go ahead.
I just want to go back to the fire department thing. So if you go back and read the statute, it says that we can request the meeting room and I'm just saying the meeting room because that's what we're looking at least 90 days prior to when early voting starts, which is what we've done. And if they respond back within 20 days, which today I've got a response back saying that they don't want us to use it for whatever reason, then we have to move on to what the county has available to us. And as of right now, the only thing that we have available to us from the county is the farmer's market.
And that's because the fire department's not owned by the county, correct?
Well, that's just the way the general statute reads.
Wait. Now, they're not owned by the county, but they do get public dollars.
Right.
And that's what it said. It said if they get public dollars, they not no longer can just call it like this. So because they get that, I don't quite understand when you say you gave notice 90 days and 20 days, so we don't get an option to use anything if all they got to do is just say no. According to what I would listen to the general statute is, we are the one that make the decision what we're going to use, but the way that we ask and they say no, well, we keep moving around. That don't seem like that we tell the county we need a location.
Do you mind if I read off what I'm looking at?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm looking at the state board shall not approve either in a plan approved unanimously by a county board of elections or in an alternative plan proposed by a member or members of that board, a one-stop site in a building that the county board of election is not entitled to under General Statute 163-129 to demand a use as an election day voting place unless the state board finds that other equally suitable sites were not available and that the use of the sites chosen will not disproportionately favor any party, racial, or ethnic group or candidate. In providing the site or sites for one-stop absentee votings under General Statute 163-227.2, in this section, the County Board of Elections shall make a request to the state, county, city, local school board, or other entity in control of the building that is supported or maintained in whole or in part by or through tax revenues at least 90 days prior to the start of one-stop absentee voting under this section. The request shall clearly identify the building or any specific portion thereof, requested the dates and times for which the building or specific portion thereof is requested, and the requirement of an area for elected related activity. If the state, local governing board, or other entity in control of the building does not respond to the request within 20 days, the building or specific portion thereof may be used for one-stop absentee voting as stated in the request. If the state, local governing board, or other entity in control of the building or specific portion thereof responds negatively to the request within 20 days, that entity and the County Board of Elections shall, in good faith, work to identify a building or specific portion thereof in which to conduct one-stop absentee voting under the general statute and this section. If no building or specific portion thereof has been agreed upon within 45 days from the date the County Board of Elections received a response to the request, the matter shall be resolved by the state board. So we have the right to request it for early voting, but we don't have the right to demand it for early voting.
And it's because of the relationship between Section 127 and 129. Because the fire department doesn't fall under Section 129, so we have to follow the procedures of 127.
I think being the chair, the last time I talked with Paul Cox with the state board of election, I think this need to go that far again. I just don't feel comfortable when I go to the meeting and we sit in that seminar and we spend all our time there and they telling us what we could do, and the case right here in front of me, and we still meeting out there in that location, and we come up with 185 votes that day, and we're gonna compare that to 220. I just don't think I don't feel comfortable until we actually, and I hesitated this morning not to call Mr. Cox, hoping that we could get some type of written information back from them. We got to have something written down. We just can't just go and just get things out if they say something. I got to see something. I just cannot go on this here and I need to see something so I can actually turn it over to them, to the state board, because that's what we talked about in that meeting that night. And for us not to get any paperwork on this here, I don't think that's the way to do business. We need a written note that say we can't use that building. We just don't need to be
Isn't that
able.
what you have?
from the fire department.
Well, we need to take out time, let's get a print down on that tonight, because I don't feel comfortable about voting on, unless you want to have a special call meeting on it Thursday night. I just don't feel comfortable going on hearsay.
I mean, if you want to go into a brief recess, I can go over to the office and print out those documents from the fire department.
No, I don't. I don't tell you. I think we need to have another special call meeting on this here, because I'm just totally surprised. I'm disappointed that we don't have an answer like what we talked about some time ago, and the only thing we got is somebody telling us something. But you guys knew I was going to want something, and I don't have no paperwork to justify what you're saying. That's not the way to do business. I like to see paperwork that say that we are not to use that building. Then we can move forward to make other plans. But to just go on hearsay, I don't think nobody in this room have been dealing that way. We need to see some paperwork, and first of all, we need to see some paperwork, but I think now I'm at a point that I need to talk. I need to get the paperwork, and I need to talk with the legal team at the state board of election. There's too much at risk here for me to sit here and not to do my job, to just take on without getting any paperwork. This is more than just 185 people voted. We got to compare more than that. We see that. I got pictures here of that traffic backed all up, and it's going to compound that traffic even more for them people to get in there. And I would like to know how many people we, just like you worked up, Mr. Director, just like you had time to work up 185 people voted. It seemed like that you should have known that I was going to ask what was 220, what was the in the general election. I just don't. I think you came to prepare to tell me half of the information which I need. Tonight we are not here to meet on information that you didn't gather up the proper information that's needed for us to talk this conversation. So I think what we need to do, if what day is the first?
Friday.
We need to meet Thursday. We need to have a call meeting. We get 48 hours. We need to meet Thursday. We don't need to move one step further until we get some proper information so we can look at it.
Can I say something?
Yes, you can.
Do you have this information at the office?
Yeah, it should be at the office now. Are you talking about
the
numbers?
The
or are you
numbers
talking
for
about?
2020 and the letter from the.
I have the letters. I would have to take some time to get the numbers. And may I?
Yeah, yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Just with all due respect, over the last month, ever since I've known that the information was going to be needed by December 1st, at those meetings, I have let the board know that the plans were due December 1st, and I have not received any information from a board member on what locations you would like me to research. So unless I get that information, I don't know the information that you want. And I'm more than happy to provide it for you. It's just that I can't provide it if I don't know that's what you need.
It may be a slackness on all our part not asking that information. But not a Republican, not a Democrat. We're looking for safety and people being able to come out and vote. And we're only going to compare that. Seem like that would behoove all of us to want to know how many people are we anticipating coming to this party. And I'm not talking about Democrats and Republican Party. How many people are you preparing a dinner? Won't you know how many people you expect to come? And the best way to do it, how many people came the last time to this dinner? We can't compare it to 185 votes. So I'm saying we need to go home. We need to do our homework, and we need to come back on Thursday and vote on what we need to do. Because right now, you only gave me 185 people, and at least you could have gave me how many people voted on 220.
Well, the primary turnout was 3,816. So we're preparing for that number for both for the total. We're going to go ahead and prepare for if 100% of voters turned out to vote. Whether it was early voting or early voting in election day, we always prepare for 100% turnout. And the reason I got the total number for the primary was I was going to go based off of that. We can kind of judge what would be for early voting, and I can say from the November 2022 general election, we had just over 3,000 voters that come through at one stop. That number I did off the top of my head because that was my first election.
So we had 3,000 come to one stop at the 2022
General election, yes.
general election.
That November election, which is kind of looking close to what this 2020 primary.
3,000 is a whole lot different from 185 now.
Right, and
It's kind of hard to say
I
we didn't have any problem, but we all did talk about that you did have problems when there was some morning and there was some afternoon. But 185 vote is not enough to count. You got 3,000 people coming in there. You need to really know what that traffic like, and for I just it behooves me and it behooves all of y'all. Why were we not able to vote at the fire station? We all pay taxes. So if we can't vote there, we all need to know the true reason why we can't vote there. We don't need to let anybody give us an answer and we don't know the full answer. They need to come clean. Somebody needs to stand out here and tell us, no, you can't use that because of this.
Unfortunately, the statute doesn't require them to do that, and we have to follow the law.
Well, that ain't what Mr. Paul Cox said when I met there 6 months ago.
He said they have to come and tell us in person.
Well, regardless, do I have anything or do you have anything to tell us that we cannot use it besides word of mouth?
I think Director Jones says he has it in writing. He just
why am I here and why are you here if he got the paperwork and we don't?
that letter's been presented to the board at a previous meeting.
Well, how could it be if he's just sent you the email and now you present it to a previous meeting? I do not like what I'm hearing. I do not like what I'm hearing. It need to be clean. This here is not together. You need to put it and present it like it's supposed to be. I don't need to have no scratches. Somebody telling me sitting in this here. Somebody telling me sitting in this here. Get to no piece of paper so we'll know what we got. We all pay taxes, so they need to use our tax dollars to write us something.
The letter that was presented to us at a previous meeting was when we previously asked about using the fire department and were told no. And then he requested it again per our request to see if anything had changed since the last time we asked. And that was the email that he received today after 5 o'clock saying, again, at this point, we cannot use it. So he presented it to us when he asked the first time. And now he asked again to see if anything had changed and got another negative response. The only reason he doesn't have that paperwork with him right now is because it came to him after he had left office to come to this meeting.
I appreciate what you're doing, but he's grown. He need to tell us himself, and the people he represents need to write us. We don't need to hear anything. That's old school. When you send a message, this need to be on paper. This need to be on paper so we all can see. We all can see where our tax dollars and why we can't do it. I don't have enough to go to people that in my area to say why we're not using.
Mr. Jones did speak for himself and relayed that information to us at the very beginning of this meeting.
During our meeting
this meeting, since we've been in here, he relayed the information to us about how the email came after he left the office. He apologized for that. So it's not really hearsay. He's telling us about an email that he received after he left the office.
Ms. Dale, you weren't in our conversation this morning. I deserve
No, I wasn't, but you just said that he...
on pencil and paper.
No, but you just said that you shouldn't be hearing it from me, you should be hearing it from him.
No, I don't. I don't need to hear it from neither one. I need to read it.
But that's not what you just
I may
said.
have
You
said
it.
I'm sorry if I said that, but you know what I was getting at. I need to be able to read this information all the time. What I'm telling you, I don't need to go on hearsay. I need to go on what's factual on paper so that whenever we get ready to contest something, we can't just say, well, we need to have it on paper. All of us agree that. All of us have traveled down roads and know that you must have things in pencil in writing. And that's the only thing I'm asking for. I'm asking for some, if he turned us down, then we need to see where he turned us down. When you turned us down the last time, I was not chair. I'm the chair this time. Time changed, so therefore when I ask, I like to get a response as a chair.
I think it's also important to understand that they don't have to tell us why they say no. They don't owe us that. The law doesn't state that.
Again, Dr. Greene, I'm asking some, I don't think you were there at that meeting. And I'm telling you as chair, someone need to be able to tell me in writing what's going on.
Now,
I don't
understand
need
you want
it.
that,
I
but-
don't, no, you wrong. You wrong. If we sent a letter, he's supposed to respond back in writing.
Right.
Don't you, as a principal, when you send out a letter to someone, of people that you don't you expect a return in writing? You don't want to hear what so and so tell you. You need to know in writing what they tell you. And I'm just telling you this. No, you're not going. You're not an attorney. I need to talk with Mr. Paul Cox, Attorney Paul Cox, because you are not the attorney that we're looking for.
I'm gonna make a motion that we adjourn this meeting until Mr. Lanier gets what he needs, because I'm really not interested in sitting here wasting my time tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do I get a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and proper second. Let's open for discussion. Any discussion on it? At this time, I also, during discussion, I like to schedule a reset up meeting on Thursday at 7 o'clock, at 6 o'clock.
I won't be able to be here then. We can do a call meeting if you want to.
We can do a call meeting or whatever. All in favor of, we have to, director, will you be able to get the paperwork out, the 48-hour notice in time enough for the call meeting on Thursday?
Yes.
All in favor of adjourning the meeting to Thursday?
Aye.
All opposed, likewise. The motion been approved, and this meeting is adjourned to Thursday.